There are a multitude of mechs which are gifted the unfortunate title known as bug mechs. Often these machines are wrongly underestimated for their traits, with people misunderstanding their purpose on the field, or simply not respecting what they bring to the table as a whole. But there are bugs that definitely have more of a bite, and anyone will recoil at their appearance. In this video, we are going to be examining Coventry and Earthwork Combine's Firefly. A light mech weighing in at 30 tons, the Firefly was one of the seemingly lost designs of the Star League era. First built for the SLDF in the 27th century, this bug mech of the older ages is quite unique as compared to its contemporaries. While most light mechs focus on speed, the Firefly instead focuses on armor and firepower, placing it closer to a category of Battlemech like the Panther or Wolfhound than its cousins the Locust or Cicada in its design and purpose. Unlike many of its counterparts which vanished during the Star League, it didn't disappear right away, and certainly didn't exclusively vanish with Alexander Kerensky's exodus, and instead found service in the First and Second Succession Wars, where the majority of Fireflies would be destroyed, the ones that remained in house services anyway. Some would persist in the periphery, though these were always one-offs, held by pirates or mercenaries. New production runs weren't put into operation in the Inner Sphere simply due to a lack of facilities, and lost technologies preventing its reintroduction. Overall, it had a good service record, and was considered a military loss in the House forces, but there were many casualties of the Succession Wars. What was one more design, heaped upon the other famous battlemechs and bodies of the Succession Wars? The Firefly, however, did not meet an ignoble end as it did in the Inner Sphere among the clans. The exiles that followed Kerensky into the Great Beyond. Some, in fact, would return with their forward observers as mercenaries in disguise. These would form the legendary Wolf's Dragoons. Unfortunately, clan intelligence on the Inner Sphere was, in a word, abysmal. The Dragoons ended up being dramatically oversized, and they brought a multitude of unknown and extinct battlemechs with them, immediately raising suspicion of them, and rightly so. The Firefly was among these mechs, and with their arrival, this battlemech was once more seen in the wars that raged across the Inner Sphere. The primary model reintroduced to the Inner Sphere by the Wolf's Dragoons, the FFL-4B, is one of the most basic models of Firefly to see service since its return, despite it using a hint of Star League-era technologies. While its internal systems are all standard, rather than advanced, this mech is still sophisticated in other ways as compared to its Succession War peers. The FFL series as a whole only has a single quirk, which is the no arms quirk. Something which is not the primary focus of the FFL is its movement. While not as slow as the renowned Panther battlemech, it is by no means fast, and focuses heavily on other aspects of battlemech design. It is powered by a 5.5-ton GM150 Fusion Standard power plant, giving it a maximum speed of 86 km per hour, or 8 movement points in the tabletop game. It also has an unfortunate number of jump jets, having the ability to jump 120 meters, or 4 movement points in the tabletop game, which is just shy of its maximum. Because it cannot jump 150 meters, in-game, it has the misfortune of not being able to acquire a large defensive bonus from its jumping. For a light mech, neither of these movement totals are particularly impressive, unfortunately. While its movement speed matches that of the Federated Sun's Valkyrie, it is not a long-range, stave-off attack support mech, and even then the Valkyrie is considered slow in its role as well. This does not mean that the Firefly does not invest wisely in other areas, and it broadly does. However, its movement is most certainly its Achilles heel. One space where the Firefly excels at, for a light mech of the Succession Wars, is in the realm of offensive power. With tonnage constraints, the FFL can't invest into heat sinks, which can be limiting, but if managed correctly, it will not be facing many restrictions. The heat sinks on board are singles, due to a lack of double heatsink technologies. Where things become more dangerous is its close-range capabilities, supporting 3 Martel medium lasers, making it certainly very heavily gunned for a 30-ton mech. One of each laser is mounted into each of its torsos. These hit hard, and can do serious damage to other light mechs, or even mediums. Should it outposition a heavy, which isn't particularly likely given its slow speed, rear or flank attacks can be very effective with these weapons as well. For long-range harassment, the Firefly also possesses a light indirect fire option through having a Coventry 5 tube LRM-5 launcher. This is a very simple system. It goes far, but it has varying damage results. The primary weapon systems on board allow the FFL-4B to fight head-to-head with almost any other light mech in this time, and certainly to do battle with a multitude of medium mechs as well. This fly has some serious teeth, and shouldn't be overheating unless truly pushed to the limit. Special attention was paid to the Firefly for survivability. First, it has a case system to protect its ammunition on board, saving the mech and pilot in the case of a devastating ammunition explosion. Next, it also possesses a Surfire 444 anti-missile system to help keep it safe from incoming missile bombardments. But most importantly, it possesses 6.5 tons of standard plating, giving the Firefly an impressive 104 points of armor, making it amongst the most protected light mechs of the era. It can take punishment from other lights and even some mediums with great ease in any short-term battle. This is its primary means of offsetting its minimum movement, and it is effective. The only downside is if the Firefly does get in over its head, against heavier adversaries, this armor may not prove as impressive, and its low speed may be what dooms it. But this is not what the Firefly is meant to do, or the targets it is meant to engage with consistently, and certainly it shouldn't be engaging in those types of battles without backup. The Firefly is an interesting design, and one that subverts many expectations which light mechs are thought to strive for. While many others fail spectacularly at these kinds of changes, the ones that make it work truly are a testament to their designers and the forces that utilize them. Many Wolf's Dragoons mechs seem to underperform compared to their peer-weight contemporaries, but indeed, the Firefly carves its own path during the Succession Wars, and is a competent, well-thought-out design. It is just one that has some noticeable issues. The Firefly hits hard and close, and can be savaged by its adversaries while still being able to fight, and win despite its mobility inadequacies. There are, in fact, a multitude of variants for the Flea, many created by the Pentagon Worlds, for instance, and by the clans while in the Kerensky cluster, but these never saw combat in the inner sphere. Many variants, however, really just shuffle a few design elements of the Firefly, as it is mostly a sound battlemech. The FFL-4C, the Comstar variant from its own stores of mechs, mostly uses medium pulse lasers, and has double heat sinks, but is otherwise very little changed. The FFL-4D, a next-generation Dragoon variant, uses a light engine, endosteel, and ferrofibrous armor, and has ER medium lasers installed, but otherwise, again, is very little changed. This is a sign of a simple, successful platform. While none of these variants are perfect, nor is the original, simplicity simply works in many cases. It is very remarkable that so many of the Wolf's Dragoons mechs seem to be only able to work in their very capable hands, at least as far as the stories in-universe are concerned, particularly during the Succession Wars era. But the Firefly bucks this trend by being a strong design for its time, and one which can only be slightly improved on by new technologies. No one will say that the Firefly is the most powerful Battlemech in Battletech, or even the greatest light mech ever designed, but it is nonetheless a persistent, powerful piece in the right formation. And when implemented correctly in a battlefield plan that plays upon its strengths, woe betide those who merely write this off as another bug mech. Thank you for joining me here today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I do updates very frequently, and you'll be happy with the content, I think. Also, a huge thank you to all the YouTube members for this channel. When you hit the join button and become a member, you take an extra step in supporting the content on this channel, and I can't thank you enough. Because this content is only made possible because of viewers like you. And with that, I will see all of you in the comment section below.